Well, good evening. We want to welcome you to In the Blender with Brandon and Madeline Hyman. And I tell you guys, we are excited for this evening's broadcast. I tell you, it just feels like we were just on here the other day, and that's just how time has been moving all year long. But I tell you guys, we are just so excited. There have just been so many things that have transpired and that are yet still transpiring, even as we speak in relations to In the Blender and what we're doing with this worldwide ministry broadcast. And so we're just excited. We're just overjoyed with all the favor that we received over these last 4 or 5 years now.
Yes.
4 or 5 years
as far as
doing the broadcast.
17,
4 years. Wow. I mean, it's just been quite some time, but we are excited. We're still picking up steam. Things are still moving straight ahead. And I tell you guys, it's just so awesome. And, just during the day, just was thinking about not so much what we were going to talk about, because we always wait to hear the word on what we should be discussing, but just looking at life in general and looking at a lot of things that people have been facing throughout this land, throughout the world, during this COVID-19 time. And one of the things that really jumped out to me was these setbacks that people have been incurring, that people have been dealing with. I mean, there's so many people that we've talked to, that we know, that we passed by, that have experienced setbacks in one sense or another. And a lot of them have to do with COVID, and a lot of them don't have to do anything with COVID. But it just seems like this time has amplified a lot of things that people are going through. And so we wanted to talk tonight about setbacks, man, because this is real. Again, there's so many people that are dealing with setbacks. I mean, they thought they were thriving, they thought things were moving, then all of a sudden, here you go with this.
Yes.
And this has taken a lot of people for a loop. have taken a lot of people directions in ways they wouldn't never have imagined that their life would be going through. And so we just wanted to take this time, man, to encourage you, to build you up, to uplift you, to let you know that the best is still yet to come. It's not over until you say it's over, that you're going to have to start speaking to this situation. You're going to start speaking to your circumstances. And we're going to show you just how powerful your words are as it relates to your setbacks.
Yes.
We're going to show you on tonight. But first of all, the power to define is the power to fulfill.
Absolutely.
Remember this, guys. The power to define is the power to fulfill. And so you'll never be able to fulfill a thing that you can't define. If you want to fulfill success, you have to be able to define success. If you want to fulfill being a good husband or a good father, you're going to have to be able to define what is a good husband and what is a good father. First of all, what is a husband and what is a father? Because they're two different roles. What is a man? There's three different roles. Man, husband, father, three different roles. And so you may be good at one, but you may be lacking at another, because you're using that definition all the way around, and that definition doesn't apply all the time.
Right.
And so again, the power to define is the power to fulfill. And so when we're talking about these setbacks, first of all, we need to define what is a setback. What is a setback?
Setback, a reversal or check in progress, a serious setback for the peace process.
Synonyms:
problem, difficulty, issue, hitch, complication, upset, disappointment, misfortune, mishap, piece of bad luck, misfortune, piece of bad luck, misfortune, unfortunate development, reversal, reverse of fortune, blow, body blow, knock, stumbling block, hindrance, impediment, obstruction, delay, hold up, check, informal glitch, hiccup,
Wow.
It's a few
Double
more.
whammy.
Double whammy.
Kick in the teeth.
Kick in the
Knock
teeth.
back.
One in the eye.
One in the eye.
A setback is an event that delays your progress or reverses.
So all of these synonyms that we gave you guys, all of us can look at one of those and say, okay, I can relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
I can relate to that. And some watching and hearing us right now, they can relate to a lot of those because they've said a kick in the teeth, reverse of fortune, body blow, stumbling block, hindrance, impediment, obstruction. I mean, some of you guys just can go down this list and say, me, 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 me. And so we're going to talk tonight about how to handle setbacks.
Yeah.
How to deal with setbacks. Because guess what? Guess what? They come.
Yep.
They come. The scripture says it like this. The thief, the setback, comes to steal, kill, and destroy. That setback will do all three things if you allow it.
It's just like in fitness with working out. During the COVID time, a lot of people reversed. Some people have reached goals, and got to where they wanted to be. And then COVID took place and it sent people back to either where they began or prior to where they were before they even began. And the whole progress of where they were was a reversal back.
A reverse.
A reverse.
A reverse. I mean, folks, before COVID, you saw folks going to the gym. I remember we was going to the gym, and I mean, the gym would be packed 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden, COVID hit. And then they came out with the COVID-15. Then it went from the COVID-15 to the COVID-20. Then it went from the COVID-20 to the COVID-25.
Absolutely.
Then it went from the COVID-25 to the COVID-50. I mean, all of these things, man, were setbacks. There was progress being made to take care of the bodies, to take care of their minds, to take care of their spirits. Then this disruption came. And that's why we're talking about setbacks tonight, because we're moving past this disruption. You can see now what the country is trying. The country is trying to open up because the country realized that there was a major setback in the earth. And people's lives are not the same.
Right.
Some have learned how to navigate this thing gracefully, bountifully. I mean, life is just the better. And then there's some who, have lost everything. Some, they said that during this time, during this COVID experience, that divorce was at an all-time high. Abuse was at an all-time high. Domestic violence is at an all-time high. They're even talking about, even right now, the murder rate is almost at an all-time high. I'm talking about during COVID, where folks should be in the house protecting themselves, but yet you got all this going on. These are simply setbacks, man. And you're going to have to find a way to overcome that setback. You're going to have to find a way to deal with that setback and then move on from that setback.
Right.
And so first we're going to talk about dealing with the setback. How do we deal with setbacks? Step back and look at this situation. Take responsibility where it is due.
Yeah.
This is important, guys. When you begin to look at your setback, first of all, you're going to have to step back and take a look at it. You're going to have to take a quick. Sometimes when you up close on something, it's not clear. It's like you see me with these glasses on. These are reading glasses. So if I take them off and I put something up like this, guess what? It's blurry.
Right.
Why? Because it's in my face. If I put it back there, I can see. If I want to see it up close, I put my glasses on and now it's crystal clear. And so sometimes you got to step back so you can see that situation, because when it's real close, it looks blurry.
Right.
And you don't see it for what it really is. You're looking at that thing and it looks big, but in reality, it's small. The reason why it looks big, because it's being magnified in your vision. Yeah. How you're seeing it makes it bigger than what it really is. And so you're going to have to step back and look at this situation. And then there are times where you're going to have to take responsibility where it is due. everything is not somebody else's fault.
Yeah, I mean, I can go back to we use working out again. Although COVID happened and it prevented, well, for a period, everybody from being able to go to the gym. Everything was shut down. You could not go. So in that time where it was shut down, people could have still have worked out from home.
Correct.
Because there's a lot of things that you can do that you don't even need equipment to work out with.
We did it.
Yeah, you didn't need equipment.
And so like you said, you could have taken that opportunity.
So we have to take the responsibility that we just, the gym closed. So, right now I'm chilling.
Okay, how am I gonna make this work?
Yep.
How am I gonna make this work?
Yep.
Because watch this. That setback initially, folks were losing their jobs left and right.
Absolutely.
Then all of a sudden, folks came up with an idea. Guess what? We can make our own face masks.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got, this is what blows me, guys. This is what blows my mind. How creative we are as human beings. Yeah. People took a piece of cloth, put a string on a piece of cloth, and went out on the corners and started selling face masks. Mm-hmm. People made more money selling face masks than they was making on their 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you guys, sometimes you got to look at what looks like a setback and make it your comeback.
Absolutely.
Those people that were making those face masks, they could have started drowning in their sorrow and in their pity, having pity parties, blaming, everybody and anybody for their current circumstances and situations. But they began to, watch this, they began to take responsibility where it was due. Your response is your responsibility. Your success is your responsibility. Your happiness is your responsibility. Your joy is your responsibility. Nobody owns your success. Nobody owns your happiness. Nobody owns your joy. You own all of it. Uh-huh. And these people, man, they look back and they took responsibility and they didn't put the blame on others. They said, you know what? I don't like what's going on, but guess what? I gotta do something. And that's something for a lot of them made hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions. Yeah. There were so many people that became millionaires in this COVID. Mm-hmm. So many people. See, you hear a lot of the tragedies, you hear a lot of the horror stories, but you don't hear about the triumphs, the victories. Right. How people were able to navigate this circumstance or this current earth situation, and now their lives are the better because they just put some things in place that others weren't doing. Right. They just tried some things that other thought. Watch this. Don't let nobody tell you what you think is stupid. Right. Don't let nobody tell you what you think is crazy, because none of you guys watching and none of you listening would have been walking with face masks on 3 years ago. Right. Nobody. Matter of fact, some of y'all wasn't even wearing them when you were supposed to be wearing them. Mm-hmm. Some folks wasn't even wearing face masks when they were supposed to be wearing them. But somebody said, let me try this. And man, money started coming from the north, south, east, and west. They were making all kind of design. This thing became so powerful and so prevalent that even designer companies started making face masks. Yeah. You went from the street vendor to Gucci, Prada, Louis. Everybody was making face masks. Everybody now has face masks. Mm-hmm. Your company got a face mask. Mm-hmm. Everybody, you got face masks with your names on them, with your family name on them. Everybody took advantage of this opportunity. So you got to come to terms with it and then start planning your next move. Yeah. What's your next move? What's your next move? Let me tell you something. Those that turn things around in COVID and those that didn't turn things around in COVID, we all experienced one thing that was the same. We all got punched in the face. Mm-hmm. Everybody got punched in the face with this. In one way or another, everybody experienced something with this.
Yeah.
If you didn't experience something financially, you may experience something physically.
Yeah.
If you didn't experience something physically, you may experience something emotionally.
Yeah.
If you didn't experience something emotionally, you may experience something mentally.
Yeah.
Everybody got punched in the face with this thing, man.
Absolutely.
Because nobody knew about it. Nobody had an understanding of the magnitude and the effects of COVID. They didn't have a handle on it. They didn't know, listen, where did it come from? Did it come from this? Did it come from that? Who brought it here? You know, all these different things people were asking themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so understand, everybody had to come to terms with this. But you got to start planning your next move.
Yeah.
So how do we deal with setbacks? What's the first thing we got to do, babe?
Express your emotions and feelings and talk about it.
Man, you got to get this stuff out.
Talk about it.
You got to talk about it. Because, and I'm not saying talk about it complaining.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying talk about it. So first of all, you can release that whatever's blocked, that blockage.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of things people have gone through is just blockage because they're not talking about it. They haven't discussed it. And so it's time now. Let's talk about this thing, man. Let's get this thing out. Guess what? You don't know the power of you releasing that from your system. What that's going to do to your whole body, your whole life, just by having that discussion. Mm-hmm. You ever hear that saying, closed mouths don't get fed? Yeah. There's a hunger somewhere deep and down inside that because you won't open your mouth, and that could be from pride. Because there's a lot of prideful people, man, that don't want you to know that they're going through. But guess what? We see it on Facebook. We see it on Instagram. We see it on social media. Just because you ain't talking about it, that don't mean we ain't seeing it, because you're showing it. You're not talking about it, but you're showing it to everybody. You're not talking about it, but we see the disruptions in your home. We see the disruptions in your life. We see all those things because you're constantly showing it. So won't you just talk about it, receive healing, mend these things back together, and then go on and accomplish what you're supposed to be accomplishing in life. So the first thing you have to do is express your emotions and your feelings. Talk about it. What's the next one, babe?
Be objective. We kind of talked about this one. Take a step back and look at the situation and assess what needs to be done to move forward.
Be objective. Listen, this is not the time to be closed-minded. This is not the time to be closed-minded, because in this, you don't know what God is going to speak to you. Mm-hmm. You don't know how he's going to direct you to start that new business, to write that book, to go back to school and get that degree, to volunteer services somewhere, to assist somebody else in their vision. You have no idea how he's going to do this thing, how he's going to lead you to accomplish this. But you're going to have to be objective, because there's going to be something. Let me tell you something. There's going to be some things during this time, during this comeback, that you're going to think about that in the natural is just going to seem crazy. Some of y'all going to start businesses. I'm telling you, you can write this down. Some of you guys going to start businesses that in 6 months going to change the trajectory of your whole family. In 6 months, I'm not talking about 6 years. In 6 months, it's going to change the trajectory of your whole family. Some of you going to write books that's going to be New York Times bestseller. Listen, I know it just as much as I know what my name is. If you just step back and be objective, be objective to this thing. Don't just think it's going to come one way, because it doesn't have to come that way. And most times it's not going to come that way. It's just what you think. Yeah. That's why understanding what scripture says, my thoughts are not your thoughts. Watch this. Our thoughts can be his thoughts if we make them our thoughts. Right. The reason why they said that was stated, it was because they never made their thoughts God thoughts. They never made God thoughts their thoughts. They always made thoughts separate. But when you understand that God created you in his image and his likeness, then you understand you already got those thoughts. Those thoughts are already there. what you're doing is limiting those thoughts because he's a creative being. And because he's a creative being, you're a creative being. And you can speak those things that are not as though they were. He did it.
Absolutely.
He said, let there be light. And guess what? There was light. Light didn't have an opportunity to think about if it wanted to come. Light didn't have an opportunity to say, I'm not sure if I want to do this right now. Light obeyed what it was told to do. And I'm telling you, if you be objective, life is going to do what you tell it to do. Wow. Life is going to do what you tell it to do. See, right now, people don't know your story, man. People don't know what's going on. They don't see the intricate things, the parts that's being played out right now. They think they know and they think they see, but they will soon. They will, because you're going to stay objective. What's the next one?
Feeling discomfort is normal.
Understand this. When you're dealing with a setback, feeling discomfort is normal. Feeling uneasy is normal.
Mm-hmm.
That's normal. Why? Because you're finally doing something
It's out of your comfort zone.
that's out of your comfort zone.
Basically.
But this is the crazy thing about it, Obey. It's really your comfort zone. It's really your comfort zone. The reason why you don't think it's your comfort zone is just because you refused to do it before. Ask people that's in fitness that said they never lift weights before. They never ran before. They never did anything before. And now they're making millions of thousands of dollars and not millions of dollars in the fitness arena. And these are people that never did a push-up before. Something that was uncomfortable, they made it the norm. It became comfortable because they were designed to do this anyway. And now they're living out their dreams because they just stepped out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, makes sense.
What's the next one?
I have a positive attitude. Have a positive attitude.
What?
Regardless of what you're going through or been through or what delayed your progress or even what stopped your progress at that time, just remain positive. Because we can create what we want. We speak what we want. So if you're thinking negative, those are the results that you're going to get, negative results.
Law of attraction.
If you turn everything around and just think positive, that's why the words say, oh my goodness, what's that scripture? It'll come back to me. But anyway, just think positive, thinking positive. Every time, we can't control what thoughts come, but we can control how we allow those thoughts to work in our minds.
How we
entertain those. So every time a negative thought comes, that's not my thought. Replace it with something positive. And the good thing about it is that with the negative thoughts, you have time to change that thought. You have time to change that thought. So even if you've been thinking negative all day long, you still got time right now to change that thought.
Change that thought.
Keep it on a positive note.
And I love that, because when we were growing up, there was a saying that says, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. It's a terrible thing to waste, man. Your attitude, being defeated, being depressed, being despondent, being discouraged, all of those things is a waste of your mind. Because you can look at that situation and say, you know what? I just refuse to stay here. There's this woman that I know, and I'm gonna shout her out in a special way later. But she said this saying that it's one of my top fives. She said when it came to her marriage, that she acted like her husband was supposed to act, and it changed the way she acted. Watch this. She looked at the situation.
Yep.
She developed positive attitudes concerning that situation. And it changed her attitude towards the situation. She didn't say it changed him.
Right.
She said it changed her. So if you want to have a change with you.
Yeah.
Start with you.
Change the way you
Your
see it.
positive attitude will generate positive results.
Absolutely.
If you always thinking about things don't work, you hear people say stupid stuff like take one step forward, not 2 steps backward. Guess what? That's what your life gonna continue to produce.
I'll never win.
You don't never win. Guess what? You're gonna never win. You can't win for losing.
Win for losing.
You can't win for losing. Guess what? You're not gonna win because you're losing. All these different things. Nobody wanna join up with me. Guess what? Nobody's gonna join up with you. You always talking about haters. Guess what you're gonna always have? Haters. Why you can't have lovers? I don't understand this obsession with haters. Why we can't talk about lovers? Everybody and their mama got haters. Why you don't got no lovers? Why don't nobody love you? Let's talk about that for a second. Nah, I'm gonna make somebody mad. Cause I don't care. Hey, believe that. You know what I'm saying? But why is it that every time you turn around, you talking about haters? Why you can't have lovers? Why is it that nobody loves you? Nobody wants to support you. Nobody want to see you make it. Guess what? They do. The reason why you're not seeing it because all you're doing is focusing on the negative. All you're doing is focusing on the negative. You know how many times we've been in situations where I've said, I'm not doing this because this is my expectation, and it happened just the way I've said it. I've done it so much. She just look at me, start laughing because she already know, okay, this is about to happen just like he said it. It's about, why? Because I changed it. I had to develop a positive attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I had to develop a positive attitude. She said, listen, she started acting like her husband was acting like he was supposed to act, and it changed the way she acted. But this is the great part about it. Because it changed the way she acted, it ultimately changed the way he acted.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine, man, if you change the way you view life right now?
Mm-hmm.
And if you view life like, man, I'm just starting. If you start viewing life like I win, I have the victory, I can do all things. Greater is he on the inside of me. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I'm the head and not the tail. Above only and never beneath. I'm the lender, not the borrower. If you can change your attitude to that position, guess what? You'll wind up being in that position. Because you'll start drawing to you things that will put you in that position. The reason why you're dealing with what you're dealing with is because of your attitude. Your attitude determines your altitude. I used to think that was just a saying. That's real.
But it's real. It's like a quote that we hear or we focus on is, we are a spiritual being in a physical body with a mind that can alter my reality.
Say that again.
I'm a spiritual being living in a physical body with a mind that can alter my reality.
Listen to that, guy. She said she's a spiritual being. She's a spirit in a physical body with a mind that can alter her reality. The only way your mind is going to alter your reality is if you change your mind to positive thoughts. You're going to have to change it to positive. You have to get a positive attitude about this thing. I don't care what you think you've lost. Some things should be gone anyway.
But what you think you see in the physical,
because
you can alter that. You can change that.
What you see is not always what it is.
Absolutely.
What you see is not always what it is. What do you mean? There's a term that people who have lost a lot of weight deal with, and it's a false reality.
Mm-hmm. Their
reality is false because in their minds, they've seen themselves overweight for so many years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That picture is ingrained in their psyche, in their imagination. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them have lost countless pounds, but in their mind, they still see themselves overweight. Mm-hmm. They still see themselves 200, 300, 400, 500 pounds, although they're under 2. Mm-hmm. Although they're whatever their desired weight is, they're around that weight, even more. Mm-hmm. They still see themselves as that big person. Mm-hmm. And it takes the reversal or the renewing of the mind to now see themselves as they really are. When you see yourself as you really are, guess what? You can have what you really supposed to have. When you see, Harriet Tubman said this, I could have freed more slaves if they knew they were slaves. What? I could have freed more slaves if they knew they were slaves. Guess what? That's true, because a lot of people don't know they're in bondage. A lot of folks don't know they're bound. And it's hard to free people that do not know they're bound. Right. It's hard to deliver that. Why? Because you've been doing the same things for so long, you're afraid to experience something new. You're afraid to. Have a positive attitude. What's the next one?
Learn from your setback. Any lesson unlearned will be repeated.
Any lesson unlearned will be repeated. You got to learn from your setbacks, man. Listen, I know we talk about blended families all the time because this is a blended family show. It's geared to blended families, but guess what? We go beyond that scope because family is family. Blended is just a portion of family. And so everything we share, it goes for whether you're blended family or not. Still principles you have to apply. There are universal laws that regardless of what your faith is, those universal laws apply. It don't care if you Muslim, if you Christian, if you Jehovah's Witness, whatever you want to say you are, those universal principles apply. Hey, what's going on, fam? Those universal principles apply.
Chief.
And so that's my boy right there. That's my little brother. And so you got to understand, you got to learn from these setbacks, man. You don't have time to keep doing, what is insanity?
Doing the same things, expecting different results.
Doing the same things, expecting different results. You don't have time to keep doing that. If you've done this 2-3 times and the result hasn't been prosperous or favorable, guess what? Don't keep doing it. You already understand. Stop doing that. That doesn't work. That's not working for you.
And guess what? You have time to change.
And you have time to change it. What's the next one?
Be responsible, acknowledge, accept your responsibility for your part.
Be responsible. Acknowledge and accept your responsibility for your part. You know, a lot of people, man, are dealing. We're a blended family. We both were previously married to someone else. The reason why we've had success in this marriage is because we didn't have time to keep blaming others for what they did in the previous marriage. We just accepted our part in our role.
Absolutely.
Because that's the only thing we could have controlled anyway.
Right.
Is our part in our role. And when you accept your part in your role, you be responsible for that, acknowledge that, guess what? You can move on. That setback doesn't have power over you now. Why? Because I've divorced that setback. I've taken the power from that situation to do what that situation thought it was going to do in my life. And then don't play the blame game, man.
Right.
Stop pointing fingers at others.
Right.
Did it for years, man. Blame people for why you weren't success, why you weren't a success, why you weren't, a millionaire, why you wasn't a good this or a good that. Stop playing the blame game. It's designed to make you play that blame game because as long as you blame it,
you're not going to take responsibility.
You're not going to take responsibility. And if you don't take responsibility, you're not going to gain what you want.
Either.
It's not going to change. It's not. When you look at, listen, for years, I was terrible. Can I say terrible? I was terrible handling money for years. This one right here, a beast when it comes to money. When it comes to money. That's right. When you point that finger, you got 3 pointing back at you.
Absolutely.
Them 3 right there point right back at you. Mm-hmm. And so that's triple. If you look at that thing, that means you have to take. Thanks, Chief. I like that. That means you have to take 3 times amount of responsibility for actions. Mm-hmm. You have to take 3 while you pointing. You got to now look at those fingers that's pointing back at you. 3 of those fingers pointing back at you, telling you, no, you.
Yep.
And you're gonna have to triple down on that thing to take responsibility. So you know what? I got more pointing at me than I'm pointing at somebody else.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I got more points. That's why I said I was terrible. Because I was blaming all these different things, man. And the reality was I just was terrible handling money. Because I didn't take responsibility for my bad habits. I didn't take responsibility for my bad choices. Once I started taking responsibility, once I started acknowledging my role in it, life began to change. Things begin to change. Why? Because now I was honest about me. I was honest about me. Go ahead, sweetie.
We just said accept reality. No, we didn't say that, did we? Accept reality. State the reality of your situation. What is really going on?
What's really going on? I kind of talked about that, but what's really going on though? Man, you don't know, man. This thing ain't working for us. But what's really going on? Are you communicating? Are you listening to one another? Or are you showing grace to each other? Because you want grace for yourself, but are you showing grace to your family? Are you loving each other? Are you understanding each other? Are you building up each other? Are you listening to each other? It's like, man, it's like my finances just okay. Are you giving? Given it shall be given. Guess what? That's a principle. That's a universal law. So you're wondering why things not coming because you're not releasing nothing. If you're only making $100, what is $10 going to change? $10 is not making and breaking you because you're already broke. So why not invest that 10? Why not throw that 10 so that you can now, because in that 10 seed, every fruit has seed on the inside of it. Every fruit has seed on the inside of it. And that's why when I begin to understand that, because you hear that and you say you know it, but a lot of you like seedless grapes. I should love seedless grapes. I should love seedless grapes. Tear them things up. Seedless watermelon. Guess what? That's genetically modified. So there's no reproduction inside of that. You holding on to that seed, there's no reproduction inside of your fist being balled up. Reproduction comes when you opening up your hand and sowing. Now, when you sow inside of that seed are millions of other seeds waiting to come back for a harvest. Open up that orange, guess what? There are many seeds in that orange. Open up that grape, seed and grape. Open up that watermelon, many seeds in watermelon. Every fruit has a seed on the inside of it, waiting to bring back a harvest. What's the next one, sweetie?
Stay open for change to make things better.
You gotta stay open for change, man, to make things better. You gotta stay open for change to make things better. That may mean just the smallest little thing is change. Mm-hmm. The smallest little thing is change. It's like people that's trying to lose weight. Guess what? Don't eat as much. We're not saying don't eat, but don't eat as much.
Right.
Because the reality is, in this Western civilization, it's gluttonous anyway. That's why you see big portions in the West, and when you travel abroad, you see little, oh, I like that, boy. Hey, Chief, boy, I'm about to get you on here. You talking. He said strawberry seeds are on the outside. Yeah, and oh man, you go. Let me back this thing up for a second. Strawberry seeds are on the outside. There's some seeds on the outside of what you're doing that's directly connected to the inside of it. It's directly connected to it. There's some things that's on the outside that you're gonna have to keep connected because of the fruit or the seed that's in it. What are you saying? There's some relationships you ain't got no business getting rid of. Mm-hmm. Oh man. Yeah, you cutting everybody off. Guess what? Reaping comes the same way as sowing.
We love you too, baby.
Reaping comes the same way as sowing. You cutting everybody off. People that should be connected to you, people that were designed to be connected to you, people that's a part of your destiny, because you got a little revelation, a little understanding, you cutting those people off, not understanding that some of those people were designed to go with you. Some of those people were designed to go with you. Why do you think you hear people at the top say it's lonely? You know why? Because it was some people that were supposed to have been stuck with them that they cut off because they listened to a bunch of gurus and a bunch of urus trying to tell them what God didn't say to do. You cutting folks off that's supposed to have been connected to you because now you want to be different. When in reality, you were supposed to go there with them. One thing I love about this young dude, I love this dude. I don't think he's the greatest ball player. Nope, I don't. But I think he's a phenomenal man. LeBron James. LeBron took a crew of dudes that he grew up with, and he said, hey, we going there together. And every single one of those cats are paid in full. They might don't have LeBron money, but some of them are paid. All of them are paid, but some of them are paid. Hit me when I tell you. Why? Because they were connected. That was that seed on the outside of that strawberry. They still produce fruit. They still have fruit. They still have seed on the inside of them. They still deal with, because watch this. He utilized them to get to where he's at. There were some things he had no understanding of, no knowledge of. He just wanted to be focused on playing ball. And so he put them in position to assist him to that next level, that next dimension. Now they all living a life. They're all living a life. And so, man, you're going to have to listen. You're going to have to stay open for change to make things better. Stay open for change. I look at my brother, and we've been talking back and forth on this thing, man. And, you know, I know he took this role because he fish all the time.
Oh, yeah.
He fish all the time.
Posting all them nice pictures of food.
Man,
but
what?
ain't brought us no plate yet.
No rockfish. I can leave that alone. But again, watch this. But he stayed open to change. He stayed open to change, and now he's living a life that he wanted to live. Why? Because he stayed open to change. Then what's the next one? Because this is important.
Shift your perspective to see others' side and not just yours. Change how you see things.
Sometimes, man, you're going to have to make a shift. Sometimes you're going to have to shift your perspective to see other side. Because you're not always right. When we first got married, man, I was right. And was just as wrong as I could be. You know, they say just as wrong as two left shoes. I was just as wrong as two left shoes. But I was right. Look at she laughing. See, no, I was wrong. Wrong. But you got to shift your perspective. Stop laughing at me, man. I'm sensitive. Shift your perspective to see other side and not just yours. You got to change how you see things. And then this is the one I wanted to get to. What's that next one?
Give it time to improve.
Give it time to improve.
Be patient.
You gotta give it time to improve. Guess what? It's going to improve. I love this. We had one in the bedroom. If you have a ceiling fan, hold on. What'd you say, babe?
But when you shift your perspective, you gain that understanding. Your life is not your own.
When you shift, that's my baby girl right there. When you shift your perspective, you gain an understanding that your life is not your own. And that's what we're talking about. Your life is not your own. When you understand your life is not your own, setbacks have no power. Because my life not mine anyway. I'm just a tool. I'm just a vessel. I'm just conduit to bring forth an act in this earth to bless others. So all I got to do is do my role. All the other things don't have to be, because you never see conduit worrying about what paneling doing. They serve two different purposes. Understand your purpose. Change your perspective. Shift it. Get that understanding that your life is not your own. Then understand this, that change is the only constant. Change is the only thing that continue to happen. Huh? Change is the only constant. Guess what? Every time you blink, there's a change.
Yeah.
Every time you inhale and exhale, there's a change. Matter of fact, there's a change taking place even in the midst of the inhale and the exhale, even in the midst of the blinking. Change is the only constant. That's why you got to give it time to improve, man.
Right.
You got to give it time to improve. It's going to change. You just got to give it time.
Mm-hmm.
You ever put something in the microwave and you hungry? I mean, you hungry for that thing, and you pop that thing in the microwave for 2 minutes, and you sit down because the outside is hot. The outside is steaming. I mean, it's ready. It's piping.
Put your fork in there.
And you put your fork in that thing, man.
It's cold in the middle. It's cold in the middle.
You know what that does? That P-I quicker letter you off. Remember spell Mississippi, M-I, quicker letter I. When you got that meal, man, and you put that thing in the microwave and it doesn't defrost or heat up all the way through, and you go to eat that thing, it P-I quicker letter you off. I mean, it.
Or like them eggs that explode on you.
or like that fire you set on me. Man, let me tell you something. It does something to you. Mm-hmm. It does something to you. You got to get this thing time to improve. It didn't get in a mess all of a sudden.
Right. Right.
You think that setback just happened. That setback didn't just happen. That was something that was brewing that you didn't take the necessary steps or the necessary measures to prevent.
Right.
Because if you would have taken them, you could have sidestepped that. Mm-hmm. You could have went around that. You could have went straight through it. Whatever way it was done, you could have avoided it. Mm-hmm. But most time, the reason why that happened because you're not giving it time. Mm-hmm. Just like you don't understand, it took time to make a mess. Mm-hmm. It's going to take time to clean up. Mm-hmm. Invite people over your house, and if you're not clean, guess what? It's going to take time for you to clean. Mm-hmm. I love us because you can come over our house anytime. Guess what? It's going to be clean.
Pop up,
show up, unexpected, no call. Guess what? You're going to walk into a clean house. Let the church say amen. Amen. No, but you got to give it time to improve. You got to let it get better. Be patient. Be patient. Especially as a woman, women should understand patience more than anybody else. What do you mean? Even the Bible said, let patience have her perfect work. Her. Patience is like a woman. She needs time. We can go. Come on over here. Just
you better have some fish with you.
Some rockfish with you. Say you get ready to go out. Most women gonna take longer than a man to get dressed, to get prepared. Most. Mm-hmm. Yeah, most. Not all. Mm-hmm. Not every time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't listen. I'll get dressed faster than you. Whatever.
No.
There have been times. Because I'm just particular about how I look. But I'm saying.
So what you saying?
No, I'm saying for men, most men that aren't, most men just get dressed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I was saying that to say that most women take longer. Because you got to take longer. You got hair, you got makeup, you got accessories. Yeah. We just got clothes and shoes. You know what I'm saying? What you gonna do? Accessorize your glasses? You know what I'm saying? What? I mean, what real accessories do we have? Yeah. And if you wear a chain, you might got 2 of those. But it's not much that we got to do as men. Yeah. And so, but watch this. Patience. But patience takes time. Mm-hmm. It got to prepare itself. It got to look right. It got to feel right. That's why it says,
in the ball that you... in the ball that you...
It don't take long to shave my head. No, it don't. And so you got to understand, we got some comedians on tonight, but you got to understand, you got to give it time to improve. So watch this. How do we move on from setbacks? How do we move on from setbacks?
First, put it in perspective and understand that you are not the first person or family to have fallen short or have been disappointed with the outcome of a situation.
Put this thing in perspective, man. Understand, this is important. understand that you are not the first person, nor will you be the last. You're not the first family, nor will you be the last family to have fallen short or have been disappointed with the outcome of a situation. You're not. And if you falling apart because of an outcome, guess what? There wasn't much to you, man. Let's be real with it. For the stuff that folks are falling apart right now, if you falling apart because of this, it ain't much substance. You needed to get back in the gym and lift some more weights. You needed to pray a little bit more. You needed to meditate a little bit more. You need to do something a little bit more. Because if you giving up off of this little stuff, it ain't much there. Anything worth having is really worth fighting for. Yeah. Anything worth having is really worth fighting for. If I say this right now, 90% of people that's watching and 90% of people that's listening gonna know what I'm talking about. I gotta fight every day to prove my love. Where that come from?
Who said that?
5 heartbeats.
Yes.
5 heartbeats.
They was
playing Shy. They was playing Shy Boy. They was playing Shy Boy.
Oh yeah.
Leon and Robert Townsend, their brothers, playing Shy Boy. Listen, anything worth having is worth fighting for. You're gonna have to. Without setbacks, where's the comeback? Where's the comeback? Victories are great, but comebacks are better. Because watch this. Comebacks become more appreciative than just the straight victories. Because you could dominate for so long, you don't appreciate dominating. But man, when a setback comes and you overcome that thing and now you're victorious, guess what? You see things from a whole different perspective. You have a whole nother level of appreciation for it. Why? Because it was a comeback. You see people, there are some people that were married, then divorced, and then got remarried. That second time around for them has been greater. Why? Because it was a comeback. They appreciate it more because they have a greater understanding of what it means to hold on to what they should have held on to. You got people in the financial arena that have lost everything. Guess what? Their comeback for them was greater. Why? Because that second million or that second 10 million, man, it had a greater impact on them than it did before.
And let me be a witness. As his stepchild, really disliked this man as a child. Now he is my father and best friend. No
wow.
Shade, Dad.
Wow. No, not a shade at all. Like, watch this.
That is so true.
Not shade at all. This is my daughter. This is my youngest daughter. This is what she just said. As his stepchild, I really disliked him. We talk about it all the time. I really disliked him, but watch this. Now, see, this is the comeback. This is what I'm talking about, the comeback. Yeah. Because you looked at the setback, and now we're talking about the comeback. Mm-hmm. Now he's my father and my best friend. What? Did you hear that? That's a comeback. That's why I'm so appreciative about and grateful and thankful about my relationship with my family. Because of the comeback.
And that right there, that we all
patience. Patience, I had to show patience. Mm-hmm. Because there was a process. Some things that had to take place in the midst of what I wanted.
Yep.
I knew I messed up some things and I was blowing some things. And things weren't going to turn around all of a sudden just because I wanted it to. And that's why I was going when I said in our bedroom. In our bedroom, there's a ceiling fan. Mm-hmm. And in that ceiling fan, you know, the old traditional ceiling fans, they got 2 directions. One where they're sucking up air, one where they're pushing down air. Mm-hmm. And so understand, when you hit that switch for that fan to turn a different direction, it's still spinning in the same direction. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Some of you right now are frustrated because you know you've hit the switch, but it just seems like things are going in the same direction. But I stopped by tonight to tell you, man, no, it's not. Wait a little bit longer. Hold on, Tonto. Hold on a little bit longer because that thing is changing. Understand this, that there are mechanisms in that fan that have to come to a halt before they turn the opposite direction. There are some things in this situation that you're dealing with that have to come to a halt before it begins to change. The command has already taken place. It's already gone through the neurons and the central nervous systems to send a signal to what it needs to do for it to take the command, which is the heart of the fan. But guess what? It can't just stop. It can't just stop turning. Because if it does, it's going to tear some things up on the inside. And then it's not going to be able to come back the opposite direction. Because the guts are going to be destroyed. And you got to understand right now that there's some things that's taking place. Oh man, we're running out of time, but not out of the message. There's some things that are taking place right now in this comeback that's moving you in this comeback, that's moving you from that setback. There's some things that's taking place right now that you're just going to have to let it finish taking course. You're going to have to let this thing finish taking course, because once it turns around, it's no longer going that direction. It's now doing what it's supposed to be doing. And guess what? There's nothing left behind. There's no parts that are broken. There's nothing that's messed up on the inside. What you heard and what you're reading in this text is nothing broken on the inside. We had to allow that switch to do what it was designed to do. Let things continue, even though they was going the way we didn't want it to go. Let it continue to go there because we already believed that the command was answered. That it was going to do what we said it was going to do. And because of that, it turned around. And now we're experiencing just what we wanted from that command.
Absolutely.
How do I move on from a setback? Put it in perspective and understand that you're not the first to have fallen short or been disappointed with the outcome of a situation. We're going to stop right there because this has been, I've been blessed tremendously. I've been blessed. I've been had my main dude since he was 9. Wow. I think she was 9 years old, 8 years old by my side. I mean, just a little kid. I mean, right there with me, all the way up to a grown man.
Was on here.
You know, Miss D up there, my daughter. I mean, just understand that this has been a blessing. I mean, because guess what? There's so many people that face setbacks. And they're trying to figure out what they're going to do, how they're going to get hold of it. You're just going to put this thing in perspective. You're going to dry your eyes. You're going to stop crying. You're going to man up. You're going to woman up. And you're going to change this stuff. How do I change it? Just start speaking it. Even when you don't see it, say it until you see it. Say it until you see it. Where did you get that from? God did it. Let that be. 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 Then he saw.
Yep. He said.
Why you are a walking God in the earth. You're in his image. Your children are walking you in the earth. Why you can't be walking God in the earth? Stop letting religious people, man, put stuff on you that's not right. You are God's in the earth. You are made in his image and in his likeness. And if he's God, guess what? You're God. He told Moses, I'm gonna make you God to Pharaoh. So we're not gonna go there. That's a whole nother topic, whole nother lesson. But I want to see you win. Our goal and desire is to see you win. That's why we started in the blender 4 years ago. It's so that you can win. We've already won and are yet winning. And we want to see you win. You don't have to be defeated. You are already victorious. You already triumphant. You're already the head. You're already the lender. You're already above. Now all you got to do is walk in it. How can you reach us, sweetie?
You can reach us via email at weareablendedfamily@gmail.com. Also, our website is intheblenderministries.com. You can tune in on Thursday night to WJMS Radio from 8 to 9 p.m. to catch a replay of this broadcast. You can also view us on YouTube, catch us on iCloud, SoundCloud, Stitcher, I said iPad. All the social media outlets. You can catch us again. Our email is weareablendedfamily at gmail.com. Website intheblenderministries.com.
Listen, guys, we thank you so much for joining us. And until next time.
One last comment. And for all the children, we are all our own human beings. Parents experience the same thing that we go through. Just put in your perspective. Your life is the same as theirs once before. And peace and love.
Peace and love to you,
with that
Chief.
said, we'll see you guys next week. I'm sorry, not next week, in 2 weeks. Love y'all. Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.